Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the semifinals of the Fragbite THOR Open Qualifier number 5. I'm B-Ball, and with me is the illustrious Luminous, or the luminescent Luminous, you might say. Ho from
I am
DotaCommentries.com.
I am quite luminescent, and my personality is so as well, simply because I have to carry you, because you are not luminescent right now.
No, unfortunately, I cannot live up to my namesake. I am not balling at the moment, losing my voice. But anyway, this is a match between Virtus.Pro and HM. HM, a Serbian team, Virtus.Pro, of course, the Russian team with players like Santa, NS, and they have been dominating everybody to get to semifinals, but maybe they'll meet their first tough matchup. This is a best of 3, and keep in mind, the winner of every qualifier gets that, or gets a chance to go to Stockholm, Sweden to participate in the LAN tournament for $20,000.
Yep, and Virtus.Pro is definitely the team to keep your eyes on, as I've heard they are dominating throughout this tournament. We are in the semifinals. This is the best of 3, but should they move to the finals, they are almost always as a favorite to win that as well. But that's a long time from now. Let's focus on what's on hand. We have on the Radiant side, what is their name? I don't see it on the screen. So.
It's HM, their Serbian team.
Okay, HM on the Radiant side, first pick, first ban, and Virtus.Pro on the Dire. Have you seen HM play before? Because I have not.
I have not either. As one sec, let me see if I can turn up your volume.
Or turn down your own volume. Oh.
Next level. Alright. But yeah, Virtus.Pro gonna ban the Batrider. They do have second round, but Virtus.Pro's favorites are of course the Bounty Hunter, Night Stalker, and Jakiro. So Bounty Hunter, what's your thoughts on him? He's just been winning over and over again in the Asian scene, but actually this tournament he's not performing as well. But Bounty Hunter is a hero. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, you know, everybody says, or you say a lot, that Rubik has a high win rate, which is like 64% in TI2. Bounty has 63. So I think he's like the unforgotten hero in a sense, and he's a hero that generally doesn't get banned. Like, you don't want to ban a Bounty Hunter or waste a ban on it because there's other more precious hero to ban, and because of that, he always squeaks through. He's a very decent long lane hero. In fact, I think in the current metagame, most teams value him right after Darkseer. And if you're compared to Darkseer as a long laner, you're kind of in the right tier in a sense. And you know, he allows you the team to come back from situations. He allows your team to get further ahead. So he's pretty good on both sides of the fence. So yeah, I think he's a very fine hero. He does have distinct weakness, being melee, no AOE, very item dependent. But you know, you could draft him around certain strategies and have it work out. And we've seen teams do that.
Yep, definitely. But so far, Virtus.Pro has not picked up the Bounty Hunter. They picked up Darkseer for their offlane, most likely, so might not see a Bounty Hunter. Jakiro, of course, KSI plays a really strong Jakiro. Unfortunately, his Ice Pass and laning phase miss against solo heroes, but his Ice Pass and teamfight are always on the mark because, you know, it's...
Well, you mean when they clump? Like,
yeah, basically.
Right.
I was trying to be nice, man. Trying to be nice. And meanwhile, Templar Assassin, this is the first time she's made it through the first round banning phase. So, we'll see. They pick up the Brewmaster in counter to solo mid. First time we're seeing Brewmaster in this tournament as well as a pick or a ban. He's really fallen out of fashion, and I can't really blame him. His ultimate cooldown is quite long, but he's still a very powerful hero.
Yeah, I feel like Brewmaster is always kind of somewhat underestimated, somewhat forgotten. I mean, at worst, he's still a very powerful teamfight specialist. He is going to lock down one hero for 6 seconds, another hero for 2 seconds. Those refresh spells are great. You have, I want to say, offensively pretty decent teamfight, defensively extremely powerful teamfight because of his lockdown abilities. He lanes very decently. He's tanky, and to be honest, I love the 3 heroes so far against Templar Assassin. She's gonna have somewhat a difficult time getting kills. Actually, like, what are you gonna do against Darkseer Surge? Jakiro's pretty tanky. Brewmaster with his evasion as well as his mischance. Drunken Haze is the spell. Like, this entire team is really tanky. I'm not sure what the HM team is gonna do.
Yep, and keep in mind, when Templar Assassin pops a trap, it is the reduced trap, so it slows by a bit more, but she's still as powerful as ever. But Darkseer, of course, very strong against TA. Vacuum will dispel the meld, Ion Shell just eats up through that refraction. And Jakiro, even Liquid Fire does, I think it will break through the refraction if it goes over the 5 damage per second mark.
Which I think is level 2, or maybe level 1 even does it. Yeah, but there's many, Dual Breath, if that's going to be his skill path, also breaks multiple charges of the melt, or with the refraction. So, for the most part, I think Virtus.Pro is fine once the game gets going. But that's once the game's going, because HM does have better laning here, I imagine. It's very close. Templar Assassin, of course, right now is going to dominate the lane. I don't see anybody that's going to be on par in terms of laning. Venomancer and TIE Hunter both are great early game heroes, especially if they're stacked against with each other. That's a lot of slows to work with and a lot of physical right clicks as well. So I think the laning will go to HM, but a lot of the laning also comes from individual skills. And I heard of Virtus.Pro, and unfortunately I have not heard of HM, so can't really compare the individual skills of, both teams.
Right. And, yeah, the laning seems to be solid, but one of the problems against laning against a Darkseer is that you sort of want to have an item or a spell that can really lock him down after he uses Surge, and right now they don't really have anything that can do that. They have Venomancer so far, they have Tyrant or Gush for the slow, but usually when we see people match up against the Darkseer, we have like Crystal Main Frostbite, we have various stunts coming in, Ice Path that can hold Darkseer in place, Shackle Shot as well, but so far nothing that can really lock him down, so Darkseer should be able to approach his lane relatively easily, and of course dealing with the trial lane against a Jakiro, I mean, he'll be fine. So far, I do think Virtus.Pro does have a solid enough lane advantage.
Okay, so I think the Radiant has it better. You think the Dire has it better, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure the last 4 picks here is going to really shape this out. On the Virtus.Pro side, they still need a solo mid. There's a stun that you talked about that the Radiant team lag, and of course at level 6 Dragonite have the access of the long range Dragon Tail, which is going to be very, very crucial as his teammates is providing slow. He could get up there and get the stun off. If they're still early game though, it is going to be difficult for Dragonite to walk in, as that stun has very, very melee-esque range. But I think against the Darkseer, he is not going to be as harmed by the Iron Shell as most other melee carries, simply because of the fact that he has access into Dragon Blood, which will kind of help him recoup his HP a little bit against Darkseer's Iron Shell. I really like the laning here from HM. It's heroes that we don't see too often. Templar Assassin, because he's constantly banned, and then Dragonite. So let's see what shenanigans they're going to bring for us here.
Yeah, Dragonite usually a favorite of the Chinese. Like to put in the mid-solo position the Southeast Asians do with that Shadow Blade, but Dragonite in this scenario will be probably babysat. And Dragonite so far is probably the hardest carry in the game. Very difficult to bring down. He did get an armor buff. I'm not too sure why in the last patch, because he was still, an infrequent pick.
He's a freaking dragon.
Yeah, seriously.
Gotta give him more armor, man.
He's the Burninator.
Yeah.
I'm sure you don't.
That means.
No.
Here's the thing, though. Dragonite, most teams only pick up Dragonite if you want some sort of pushy carry or a pushy lineup. I don't see any push coming out of the Radiant squad. I mean, Venomancer Wards is not exactly the best pushing tool, and you really want that Dragonite for that level 1 Elder form. If you want a carry that could do more AoE damage, I think there's other better carriers out there. So I'm not too sure what this Dragonite pick is about. If you want a tanky carry, there's other options. So very, very curious about this pick, actually.
Yep, looks like Virtus.Pro a little bit stumped as well, as they're taking a lot of time to go through. Right now, they do have their mid-solo position locked up. They pick up Nature's Prophet. Most likely going to be the jungler, since Darkseer is going to be in the off lane. Virtus.Pro used the Nature's Prophet to relative advantage, but they had a really hardcore ganking lineup the last time they picked Nature's Prophet. They had Night Stalker, they had Bounty Hunter. Meanwhile, this lineup not really as gank heavy, so I guess he's really just there to counteract some of the pushing that might come through. But yeah, Nature's Prophet is no longer first pick, first ban, even ban-worthy these days. What are your thoughts on Nature's Prophet?
I still think that he is completely first pick and first ban. Like if somebody just picks him up right in number 1, you will raise your eyebrow a little bit. But at the end of the day, if you guys remember 3-4 months ago, and what that hero's been doing, the nerfs to a 5 MS nerf and then screen got a little bit weaker. Those are not really nerfs. Like he still is going to provide you that utility, jungle, lane, long lane, whatever, get you the Midas mech. If he wants to play support, if he wants to play carry, we've seen things like Siphon Vice Rush, we've seen things like Mantisile Rush. There's no way in hell that such a versatile laner, such a versatile hero overall should not deserve a first pick. It just speaks to how
powerful everybody else is.
Yeah, everybody else. So I don't think Nature's Prophet should be left in dust. I'm kind of like the fact that Virtus.Pro is dusting off Brewmaster and Nature's Prophet and picking up and remind ourselves why are those heroes are good. But I don't exactly know why this hero particularly is picked right now, because again he's versatile, so it's difficult to identify why. The Virtus.Pro team is not exactly great ganking. They're very slow and clunky. They're like fat, immobile tanks in a sense. But in a sense, you know, if they want to go for more of the late game, Nature's Prophet is somebody that can come out of jungle and provide that to you. So I think Virtus.Pro probably looking for their solo mid for the last pick here.
Yeah, as one problem with Nature's Prophet is that he does take a little bit of time to get going in order to really get that because, you know, they usually get Medallion, Mecha, so before they start getting their damage and split pushing on him. But right now, there's not really too much that can be done to lock him down. They do have a disruption as well, so at least that gives him a little bit more of a consistent disable to, besides the traps and the Ravage and the Dragon Tail. Meanwhile, Virtus.Pro, not too much time to pick up their last hero. They have their jungle, they have their mid soul, they have their long lane, so they're probably going to go for some sort of hard carry. Meanwhile, one thing I love about this patch is that it's so versatile on carries. Literally, we've seen everything except for Bloodseeker because he is really bad.
Spectre yet?
No, no Spectre either.
Okay. I don't want to say I miss that hero, but I miss her in the sense that we haven't seen her for a while. But, you know, Shadow Demon is a hero that's going to be the final pickup here. I do imagine we're going to see a Venomancer Shadow Demon lane. And previously we were saying that how Darkseer's mostly survivable because the Radiant team doesn't have to stun. Now they picked up a Dragon Tail, which is very, very decent. And also, Shadow Demon's probably, in my opinion, one of the best counters you could get against a Darkseer. But whoa, we talked about the versatile carry. Here comes a Nerubian Weaver. We have seen this from time to time, but Weaver is not exactly a hero that you want to go, especially against a Dragonite. But I suppose because the Radiant team lacks any type of disables, there's no way you lock down this Weaver, and he is going to chase you all day long with Sakuchi. There's not high amount of burst damage either, so you can't actually burst him from full health to death. So I think, as awkward as it sounds, this is a perfect hero you want to pick, perfect carry you want to pick against this Radiant lineup.
Yep, definitely. So I'm going to actually restart the stream in order to try to fix the volume. Alright, and just in time for the unpause, so hopefully you guys can hear Luminous a bit better, at least compared to me. I turned myself down a bit, enabled Skype interaction, so hopefully you guys can hear Luminous's dulcet tones as we get into this game.
Yep, I guess good times as any should just describe or introduce the Dire team. Bandit gonna be playing on Virtus.Pro. I've been seeing Bandit play, and I'm just gonna throw out this flame out there. It hasn't really impressed me too much with his Darkseer play. Let's see if it's gonna be changing. I think he stood in for a team I casted previously, but we'll see how it goes. XXX gonna be playing the Brewmaster. We have Airman playing the Weaver. NS is gonna be playing Jakiro. Man, everybody with their off tags is just. KSI is going to be handling the Nature's Prophet with a very, very huge. Look at that necklace. That is some bling right there. That's the Nature's bling.
As there's going to be engaging on the Darkseer. Ice Path managed to trap everybody on the Twin-Eyed Dragon, but Ice Path managed to trap everybody. But you cannot run, you cannot hide from Dragon Tail, as they managed to pick themselves up. But first blood, Shadow Demon actually picked up, so that's going to mean an upgraded Flying Courier. Maybe some Centaurs to do some counter running. Shadow Demon must be feeling pretty good about himself.
I kind of like to see the early boots, but we'll see what he goes with. Earlier during the pick ban stage, I was kind of want to talk about Shadow Demon as his role in terms of matchup against the Darkseer. I think he's actually one of the best supports that you want to lane against the Darkseer. If he doesn't use the Surge, you keep right-clicking him. Soul Catcher really helps out in terms of amping your damage. If he does use the Surge to get away, well, that's what Disruption is for. So most textbook ganks against the Darkseer using a Shadow Demon is you know, Soul Catcher, right-click, right-click, right-click. As soon as they run, you disrupt, and generally, you get a kill, but it seems like we're going to see something that we don't expect. It's a Venomancer Dragonite dueling mid. Wow. And of course, on the other side, obviously, Melee on the mid lane, and he's going to have a very, very tough time. Keep your eyes out for a rotation to the mid lane for one of the supports, because Panda, I don't think he could solo against these two heroes.
Yep, Venomancer already doing some nice harassment, has the Gale from that first blood engagement. Meanwhile, Santa is getting a little bit harassment by the Shadow Demon. Those refraction charges will drain quite quickly against the Ion Shell, but so far Santa is being hard-pressed to stay in his lane. Meanwhile, Tyranitar, he can only do so much against his lane. It's pretty much given up for free. So Weaver is going to have relative free farm. Already has 3 and 3, but like you said, Brewmaster not getting too much farm, but he is getting experience at the very least. Yep.
But about this top lane here on Tyranitar, you can see the way that he's very, very aggressively playing. He realized that he understands that this lane is not really going to kill him. If his HP is constantly full, Weaver's what he's going to do is Sakuchi and right-click you when you have things like Kraken Shell and Stout Shield. And Jakiro's not exactly, the highest burst damage hero either in a sense. So unless we're going to see the jungling Nature's Sprout, even with Nature's Sprout coming in, I really don't think they can kill the Tidehunter. And because of which, they can't really keep Tidehunter out of experience range. And that's exactly what he's doing right now, just chilling in lane, making sure that he gets his quick level 6, because that's why he's placed there.
Yep, and Tidehunter does have 5 tangos, but unfortunately he can't get too much experience. They're doing a nice job pulling. Unfortunately, the pull spot was not warded off, as Brewmaster's still getting some experience, so this duel lane not doing as much as expected. Dragon Knight actually took a bit of harassment, it looks like. So far, this duel lane, Brewmaster is going to be just fine. He just needs level 6 as well, and the sooner he gets level 6, the better. But Gale does come in. Will the Chain Stun come in? Yes, here comes the Dragon Tail. I don't know if they can kill him. Here comes the Thunderclap, going to actually go back on the Nemesis. This will be a bit of a mistake, as he's enough to scare both of these heroes away. Here comes the Teleportation by Nature's Prophet, but he does not have Sprout. Looks like Timesword, the Dragon Knight, going to take a bit of harassment as well. So this duel lane actually struggling a little bit against the Soul Brewmaster, and now they have to be wary about the Nature's Prophet as well.
Yeah, I'm very, very surprised to see that Brewmaster doing very well. You can see that he's adjusting his skill build. One early point to Drunken Brawler. You generally don't have that point until level 4. And another point into Drunken Haste. I mean, using mana is definitely an issue, but
top
imagine...
lane NS actually took a lot of damage, but Tidehunter tried to go for the kill, as NS is a bit confused because Jakiro is actually a very tanky support. Soram was used, Shikuchi was used, and back to Pum, man, NS.
Wow, I mean,
Dang.
hey.
He's got something against Serbia.
Nope, no bigger flame has been said in this game before. But in a sense, I kind of agree with NS. There's no way that Tidehunter should have died there. I guess he played over-aggressive, got baited out by NS in a bit, and definitely paid for it. And that's a first blood in a lane that first blood should not be in. Or sorry, first blood already happened. But Weaver got a kill. He's free farming, so it's not looking too good here for the Radiant squad.
Sarah taking a bunch of harassment, baits out the Surge, and there's going to be a kill on the dark side. Soul Catcher going to come in. A couple more hits by the Shadow Demon will pick up the kill. Unfortunately, just out of range. Darkseer, high base armor, enough to mitigate a lot of physical harassment, and Surge level 2, so a long enough duration that he was able to get that extra couple of steps, and that was enough to save his life.
Yeah, cutting it close is Bandit here, and he is getting the EXP, at least more EXP compared to the Tidehunter, and he's going to have a little bit more items to show for it as well, as he's, getting creep kills here and there, but should still be very careful. TA is getting relatively free farm as well, and there's no other hero scarier than a TA getting early game free farm. A lot more harass coming on Bandit, forcing him out of lane. But look at the mid lane here, as we see a 3-man gank against XXX. He's going to be on the run, Gush cooling down about 6 seconds, but they're going to give up the chase. A lot of resource and time devoted to ganking and putting down this Pandaren Brewmaster, but he's just owning the lane.
Yeah, he's just going to drink a toast to that, as Nature's Prophet is still going for the jungle, and Weaver is actually out farming the Templar Assassin because Iron Shell is pushing the creepy equilibrium back towards the tower, so a bit more difficult. But yeah, this is dual lane mid not working out nearly as successfully, as he's using Drunken Haste to constantly prevent Dragon Knight from getting as much free farm as he can possibly get, reducing the mischance, or increasing the mischance of his attack, so that's going to be a bit unfortunate. But Dragon Knight's picked up the bile, has 2 points into Fire Breath, and meanwhile Tidehunter still, at least he at level 3, I suppose.
And here we go with the Tidehunter out of the lane here. Ice Path, or excuse me, Liquid Fire is a skill to be chosen. During Trio moving into Ranger, they're protecting that stage, and if they see anybody coming in, they will chase him out of lane. Look at the Ice Path, and where's the Dual Breath? There's a Dual Breath as well, and DBSM will be dropping Nature's Prophet TP in as well. A little bit far behind, Gush is going to be used, but they're increasing chasing of Weaver. Oh man, that first kill that they got, and of course now this one, really allow him will allow the Dire team spiral out of control. They're going to get a tier 1 tower to show for it as well. And the gold chart will reflect shortly. They're already leading by about 1,500. Now going to be up to 2,500. And the Radiant team don't have two particularly great flash farmers. TA is not exactly a great farmer. Dragon Knight can farm it up, but he won't have the room to do so. And suddenly we're looking at hero things like Unfarmed Tidehunter, a low-level Venomancer, and Shadow Demon. They're going to have a very, very difficult time dealing with the team fight-oriented lineup here of a Pandaren Brewmaster, of a Darkseer, and a Twin Dragon in the mid-game. So I'm very, very worried for HM here.
Yep, as Liquid Fire is being applied to the tower, reducing its DPS by a pretty considerable amount. Level 2 Liquid Fire, as the Twin-Head Dragon hit level 5 before the Tidehunter hit level 4. Not something you want to have happen in any game. they're gonna bring up Venomancer to defend it, but this tower is gonna take the fall. A bit of a slow rotation right there, but it's gonna teleport in. They're gonna initiate on the Tyrant yet again. Venomous Scale catches a bunch of heroes. Shadow Demon actually teleported in with not too much HP, but looks like Weaver's on the chase and not too much mana to work with, so he's gonna have to be a bit careful in how he decides to chase. One more hit on the Shadow Demon does pick up the kill. Nature's Prophet doing some harassment on the Venomancer. Can they pick up the kill? No, he's gonna back off, realizing he does not have enough mana to continue the chase. But still, they got a tier 2 tower in exchange for a 1-for-1.
Yep, and then that one again, the kill went to Weaver. Weaver up to 1800 gold. If he gets go for Lincoln Sphere, which I think he's gonna pick up the Perseverance, there you go. Lincoln Sphere is gonna really be a nail in the coffin in a sense here against this Radiant squad. There is one stun. There's one stun on the Dragon Tail, and if that stun gets dodged, what are you gonna do? I guess Purge is decent if the thing is on cooldown.
Initiation on the bottom lane against the Templar Assassin, as that Ion Shell gonna drain all of the refraction charges immediately, and a Surge gonna keep up with the Templar Assassin. Does she even have the trap? She's level 5, so she does not have the traps just yet, as not getting killed on the bottom lane did cost her some experience. And Santa is just going to take a bunch of damage, has a Soul Catcher on him, does have enough mana for a couple more Surges. Here comes a Thunderclap on the Shadow Demon, but not enough mana for the Brewmaster. Casts a really early game Ion, or Wall of Illusion, as here comes a Drunken Daze on the Templar Assassin. Looks like Panda dove in a little bit too deep, but here comes a Dual Breath as well. They manage to get the tower. Can they get the TA? They can get the TA. Can Brewmaster escape? A little bit more juking. He might be able to escape, but a nicely placed Gale. They're going to go right back. He does manage to get enough mana to get his ultimate off. Oh no, so unfortunate for the Radiant. Here comes a counter initiation on the Tyrant. Nature's Prophet teleports in, Venomancer quickly tangles out, meanwhile Tyrant took the fall. But it looks like the Radiant are crumbling under the pressure of the Dire.
Looks like they're going to try to get a PSTM, not going to get a crit off, unfortunately, here for the Brewmaster. Would have definitely got the kill. Bandit's play very curiously dropped the wall, which, by the way, didn't hit anything, instead of actually putting Iron Shell on XXX. I think that would have did a little bit more. But regardless, the team fight was won. That's Magic Wand, Magic Stick's probably the best item in the game, and that definitely showed for it. Brewmaster ran away with 0 mana, papped a Magic Stick, and had more than enough to really go for it. And, of course, turn it around with the ultimate Primal Split. It's a very, very long cooldown spell, but if you use it, and anytime you use it, you get like 2 kills, and one team fight like that, it's completely worth it. Of course, he picked up a double damage rune, so he doesn't even need to go back to base. He's going to farm it up on the mid lane, and I guess right now it's all on catch-up time, catch-up duty for the Radiant team. They have nowhere to farm. That's the issue, though. Bot is constantly pushed. They're afraid. The jungle's, completely intrude upon. Mid, you can't really farm too much, because after one creep wave is on the other side of the river. Top, there's a Weaver in there. There's no tier 2 to back it up, so HD or HM, they have no room to farm, and I don't think it's going to get any better, because when you're dealing with heroes like Nature's Prophet, that could always be a +1, you are always afraid.
Yep, as Nature's Prophet is going to teleport out in the nick of time, Templar Assassin is going to rotate, but Nature's Prophet did catch the TP, so it looks like the bottom lane will get the heck out of there. Trap is going to be sprung on the Jakiro. No, as Jakiro is going to escape just fine. Look at NS, he has phase boots already, so he is probably the fastest twin-head dragon I've ever seen in my life. As he is just going, it's like he has 4 legs and 2 heads, I suppose.
Man, those wings, they're flapping overtime right now. But they gotta, the Radiant team gotta defend up top here. They're trying to pick off heroes, and they're using at least 4 or 5 in doing so. And since they're not picking them off, they're basically just wasting a lot of time. They're not going to catch up in like this. I think if you are in an early game situation where you're still far behind, you gotta just go for the long game. As awkward as it might be against a Weaver, you just gotta go for the long game, because you're getting out level. You just need to find a way to farm. But back in the mid lane, they want a kill. They see XXX. He does not have his ultimate just yet. Soul Catcher does latch, and he is gonna go down for sure. Who's gonna get the kill? That's the question. Looks like Venomancer's got one. Nature's Prophet's gonna teleport in. The wall's gonna get dropped. Where's the vacuum? No vacuum on Bandit just yet. Still on cooldown. He has no points into vacuum, but he has a wall. Why? Now Time Source on the run. The trees is gonna get broken. Venomancer, he's so sad. Look at him. His Surging creeps with the Iron Shell. What a play by Bandit. So, no wall, but great Surge. So that cancels it out, maybe. So.
Maybe. As looks like this middle tower going to take a lot of damage. Brewmaster didn't have his ultimate. Still 2 for 1. As Venomancer, probably the saddest Venomancer I've ever seen in my life. Probably really depressed after being killed by an Iron Shell creep, but nice recognition by Santa. As Brewmaster is back, he wants vengeance, he has his ultimate, and now Radiant can't really do too much to defend it, but they're going to try. They have to face a Brewmaster ultimate, and looks like since Dire don't have too much mana to work with, Darkseid's going to get the heck out of there. They're going to defend for now. Tyrant is finally level 6. He has his ultimate, but the Primal Split has been popped. Unfortunately, his teammates are not in position. Ice Path whiffs. Can they kill the TA? That burn damage eating through the refraction all the while. Cine, no more refraction charges, but just trying to run all out of there. Weir's going to come in as well. Looks like a Sentry Ward's going to be dropped. Ice Path going to hit a bunch of heroes as TA buys back. KSI picks up another kill on the Shadow Demon. Panda's ultimate is down. Ravage has not yet been used. He's going to cancel it. Going to kill the Brewmaster at the very least. Not too sure why Ravage was never used in that fight, as Weaver dove very hard, managed to get a kill on the Venomancer. Gonna take a bunch of poison over damage. Can Tyrant escape? Still has Ravage. Actually, he doesn't have enough mana now, and Weaver's gonna back up for now. Meanwhile, the buyback on the TA managed to kill the Nature's Prophet, as Weaver is gonna escape, but still, tower is taken, forced to buyback from the TA, and didn't even have to fight the Ravage, I guess. So, not too sure why Tidehunter never dropped it. I guess he was never in position to catch more than one.
Yeah, it was just a very series of unfortunate event. When the Tier 1 tower was sieged, Dragon Knight TP first, and because of that, Tidehunter's TP came very, very late. That allowed everybody to back off. If the order came differently, Tidehunter would have been in a prime position to drop at least a 3 or 4 man Ravage. After that, Primal Spit plop, and the Primal Spit was in the front lines here, just chasing everybody away, and mostly Tidehunter couldn't find the angle to get a ultimate off that caught more than like just the Pandas, which by the way you don't affect the Panda with Ravage. So like he just never had a good angle, and once that Primal Split is down, by that time everybody's so low in terms of HP.
Wasted Dragon Knight on the middle lane as Demonic Purge is going to be used on the Brewmaster. No ultimate as the Brewmaster casting Drunken Haze, reducing DPS by a decent amount. Dragon Tail is forced to use the kill, but Weaver's going to pick up a kill on the backside against the Venomancer, or against the Shadow Demon. Going to turn around, try to go for the Venomancer as well. Meanwhile, TA took a fall, but just going to keep an eye on the Weaver. He does have time lapse. He should probably just get the heck out of there. He is going to get out of there. But TA not having the impact, even with relative free farm that she usually does, and pretty good heroes to counter in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, TA. One of the thing about TA is that you gotta really make sure that the enemy team don't have that level and go advantage, because when Twin Head Dragon has phase speed, it really is difficult for you to get kills. Nature's Prophet has that urn, and of course that's gonna allow him to keep his HP up, but more importantly, provide extra DPS in team fights and ganks. But yeah, I mean, TA got free farm, but when everybody's higher level than you on the other side, then that free farm is not really too reliable or too useful. And of course, there's going to be a Roshan attempt, such an early Roshan attempt. And I do believe Radiant knows this. Yeah, they do have Observe Ward. They definitely saw the heroes walking towards the Roshan pit, but nothing they could do about it.
Well, Brewmaster Ultimate is still down for the next 15 seconds or so. They're going to try to make their move right now, but Medallion going to work on this rush as Darkseer does have a point to wall, so they're going to have to be careful how they approach the pit. And here comes Storm to see a bit too late. Weaver picks up the Aegis. He can go to town pretty much. He's going to immediately go on the offensive. Any detection to see him. Here comes the Swarm catching everybody except for the Templar Assassin. Santa taking a bunch of damage. Ice Path. Ravage is going to be able to hit a couple of heroes. But here comes the Macro Pirate. Going to kill the Tidehunter at the very least. Vacuum going to pull everybody back. As Darkseer managed to pick up a kill, Weaver picks off the Venomancer as well. Going to go on the TA. TA immediately dies. And looks like Virtus.Pro gets a team wipe against a Ravage, against a TA, against a Dragon Knight. And this game is looking extremely grim.
Yeah, I mean, the Lincoln's versus Deliver in the middle of team fight, I don't think that was even necessary because no stun ever went on the Weaver. And you can see how aggressive he's playing right now. He understands nobody could kill him, so he's just running against 3 or 4 without fear. Of course, the Aegis Immortal definitely help you do that as well. And I think this game really was really grim at the early laning stage when Tidehunter got picked off. I think earlier got the Tier 1 and the Tier 2 tower destroyed. When the mid lane didn't win 2v1, I mean, that's never a good thing. The bot lane didn't get anything going against the Darkseer as well, and that's understandably so. But losing 3 lanes really would give you no chance to come back, seriously.
Yeah, as it's never good when your Tidehunter pops his first Ravage at the 1430 mark. That's pretty much always a bad sign. Yep, yeah, Ice Path gonna come in, huge initiation. Brewmaster gonna use Primal Sword just to seal the deal. Gonna pick off Time Soar. TA is spun into the air for 5 seconds. Can they dispel it? Dragon Knight buys back, knowing that this is the last defense, the last hurrah, but TA dies yet again. Weaver is wicked sick. Tower falls, not too much Dragon Knight can do. Has the ultimate. What can he honestly do about it? Not too much. As he's gonna morph, he's gonna try to go for it, but that Medallion gonna melt through his armor, iron shell. Doma problem, not sure what that means, but Dragon Knight's gonna melt in a matter of instants, and this is pretty much GG.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see a lineup that's when they actually could win a team fight, they could also push as well. I think a couple days ago we were casting a Dota 1 game, throwback cast, and we saw the ability for the Dire team or Scourge in that particular game to win the early game, but never actually get up to high ground because their heroes are just not capable of doing that. But the reason that Jakiro is such highly picked is because of Liquifire, or one of the reasons is because of Liquifire. Nature's Prophet with his push ability, and Primal Split doing a lot of added DPS as well. You can see that as soon as they get their butts on the high ground, your towers is basically dead. And that's the beauty of this particular lineup. Team fights well, pushes well after winning those team fights. And XXX is staying on the bot lane. Do they just want to win this game in one fell swoop? But seems like these two teams are more.
There's some bad blood, I guess.
I guess so. All right.
Not too sure. As yep, plus sign. Nice. Clearly,
no, I just want to hit enter, but my plus sign is freaking huge on the numpad.
You know what they say about huge plus signs?
What did it say about huge plus signs?
I don't know. I was hoping you could tell me.
Oh man, there's nothing huge that I know of. So
awkward silence says, yeah. As we were just gonna wait for Venom to disconnect. Everybody else is disconnected. Venom, go on. You guys lost. As that's gonna be game number 1 with me is the fabulous at Luminous Inverse, twitch.tv/Luminous Inverse, youtube.com/Luminous Inverse, the content manager of DotaComedies.com. Man, he does it all.
Plus sign Luminous Inverse. That's how I roll, man.
Luminous Inverse. Never been a higher award than plus sign Luminous Inverse. You're gonna write that on your grave, huh?
I will. On my YouTube channel, there's a minus sign.
On your YouTube channel, it's mad scary, mad creepy. The weird anime chick saying, "I'm gonna come kill you."
I know, isn't it nice?
It's weird.
Gonna go there right now.
Yep. As that's gonna be game number 1. So thank you for watching. Game number 2 will come up very shortly. So stay tuned. Please follow me on Twitch and youtube.com/bbon773, and we'll be back in just a bit. Thanks for watching.